All right, peace and love, beautiful souls. High vibrations to you all. We here tonight. It's gonna be. I mean, this timeline reset. I mean, if I don't know how many of y'all feel a sense of excitement or a sense of relief. It's almost like something is being lifted from the nervous system. If you really just sit back and really just observe what your body's doing right now, something wants to be removed. And sometimes you can't really put put words to it. You can't really, but it's like even in the midst of a lot of chaos, you know that something is working for you. It's like even in a lot of areas of your life to where things have been stagnant, even for people who life have been probably been moving in a good trajectory. You know what I'm saying? This could be a good time to get outside and travel, and it's like you want to live your life. That's it, that feeling of life, like it's like coming alive. That's because something is dying, right? We've all been through a lot of different things when it comes to death, literal, figuratively, metaphorically, metaphysically, ego death, shadow work, all this type of stuff. All these are results of an accumulation of energy. So this accumulation of the things that we've been through, all of, some of y'all done been to all of my workshops. I appreciate all of y'all support. For those of you who always support, and I know I sent the link out to a few of y'all tonight. Remember, if you are interested in getting the PDF, you can purchase the PDF that I'll be going over for $33. If you want to get the $99 transit reading, you don't have to pay the $33 for the PDF. I will send you the PDF, and you also get your personal PDF on the breakdown, all right, to help you understand what this Aquarius energy is doing in your chart. But the PDF is still loaded with your numbers, your life path numbers, your midhaven, your moon sign, your sun sign, your rising sign. All right, so the remember, y'all know what PDF is very loaded. I'll be going over it. And also it's loaded with a ritual as well. It is a hell of a time, and as you can see, the name of this workshop is going to be as the future interrupts the present, right? Disrupts the present, my bad. So when you're dealing with Aquarius, you're dealing with a look into the future. It's kind of like what Uranus do. You can't always predict the future, but you know it's there. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't always know what the hell is happening or going on in your life, but you always know that something is awry. You know what I mean? Like you can just feel it, right? So that feeling, and that's also why Aquarius deals with miracles and you know what I'm saying? All this good stuff. So this month of February is very loaded. This month of February is very highly impactful with a lot of different aspects when it comes to, I would say, our nervous system mainly. And for those of you who I know were interested in the nervous system program, make sure you hit me up if you want to join that. It's very dynamic when it comes to the understanding of who we are and how we can experience life only through our nervous systems. You get what I'm saying? So, this imagine the work that you've been doing, and it felt like you just had some parts of you that you just could not remove, some things that you just could not get over. It could be memory, it could be a lot of different things, right? But now here comes the cosmos saying, I got you. Anybody that's done got a reading from me, y'all always know. I'm always talking about how um, when you don't, my bad, I switch screens. When you don't make decisions for yourself, right? The universe make decisions for you. You get what I'm saying? Like, so when you're talking about making these choices and decisions for ourselves and the things that we haven't been unwilling to do, all right? So when you talking about certain things start to move in your favor, anybody that's, heavy in religion, and when God starts to move in your favor, you know what I'm saying? So it is a beautiful time for us to be alive. It is a beautiful time to know that something greater than your own understanding, everything is happening for you, not to you, right? And the way we live in a paradoxical experience, she could be happening to you and for you at the same goddamn time. All right. So we're gonna take this time to really acknowledge this energy. I'll be going into also a lot of the things that are being ignited during the month of February. Of course, y'all know I'll be talking heavy about the nervous system and the body and how this correlates. I also got a little treat about how we're going to be dealing with ancestral memory. I'm going to be talking to you about this. It's going to get a little deep. All right. So I just wanted to prepare y'all for that in typical fashion. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get it popping so I won't have y'all here all night. All right. Let me go to share my screen here. Boom. All right. I'm trying to go to emails. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, big. All right. So, man, that picture's so dope. It's gonna be a lot of rebellious things going on. Y'all know I gotta tell it like it is. It's gonna be a lot of rebellious things going on. Guard your mental. Do your best not to get into it with people, especially in heated arguments and things like that. And like really allowing yourself to really be free from the dynamics of hold on one second, y'all. Let me get one more person up in here. I know they sent me a text. Hold on here. All right, now we ready. If they ain't in now, they just gonna have to catch the replay. All right. So let me go and start this here. All right, back to the PDF I go. All right. You know, when you're dealing with people, man, people gonna always play out what's going on in the cosmos. I tell people all the time, you don't have to believe in astrology for it to be real. And y'all know how I am with my fuck them people attitude. Like, this is a science at this point. And once you begin to see and recognize the signs of the times, it'll really show you a lot about how when certain transits and certain things happen in the cosmos, how we have to act it out on this plane of existence. It's the as above, so below. It's the as within, so without. So knowing that we're all connected to memory, and all this memory can be connected to astrological energy. This is why birth charts can be so powerful. I tell people all the time, I don't live by astrology. A fool lives by the stars. A wise man makes them dance at his feet. There's people who are very successful. There are people who live their life to the highest expression who don't know nothing about astrology. This is why I say that, right? So this is a tool when you are going through challenging things in your life and you can't make sense out of certain things and you begin to question, you begin to doubt, you begin to fear, right? Or you begin to really start to feel like a victim of life. All these are internal things that equates to what we call suffering. That emotional baggage, all that can be defined and realized and understood by astrology. Why you been through the things that you've been through, why you do some of the things that you do. What it cannot dictate is your free will. It sets the stage for certain things in your life. The way you choose to go through it is your choice. Even in not choosing to do something is a choice. All right. So I love to make that clear because I don't ever want us to get caught up in any type of thing and making it a doctrine. All right, because that's very religious, and I can be very sacrilegious to be honest with you. All right. Now the core frequency of this energy when we talking about timeline reset, when the future interrupts the present, this new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius is happening tomorrow, right? Solar eclipses are fated endings, irreversible beginnings. Aquarius equals the collective consciousness. It deals with liberation, future codes, all right, nervous system awakening, and sudden changes. Aquarius, she can get word real quick. That's that word, that awkward feeling. You know how sometimes you could be in a full blown conversation with somebody and somebody say something or do something, and all of a sudden the shit just got word, and you can just damn near hear a pin drop around you and shit, right? That's a reflection of Aquarius energy. Okay, so this eclipse is about severing outdated identities tied to approval, conformity, and survival roles. See, this is why a lot of people gonna be angry. A lot of people are still serving a certain identity that is outdated. A lot of people are still tied to other people's approval and validation. A lot of people are used to conforming and they want you to conform. This is the split. This is the timeline reset. This is going to dictate where we move into the next age. We're on the cusp of the age of Aquarius. So all these survival roles. You know how many people are in love with survival? You know how many people can't do, like, the nervous system is so wired to where you can't do nothing unless you feel a sense of chaos. I like to say it's that feeling of people don't create until they back is against the wall, right? You know how the comfort zone, come on now. How many times you done been comfortable and put out some shit that you know you need to be doing, put out or cutting out somebody that you know you need to cut out, put out leaving something or walking away, anything, right? And then if you didn't do it when you felt it, what happened every time? You'd be like, damn, I should have left. Damn, I knew I shouldn't have been. See, so this is what I'm talking about, right? When the conformity and the survival roles, and we don't make changes until we a lot of time forced to. So it's gonna activate the higher mind of intelligence and the future self-alignment. So all these things about people saying who they are, who they want to be. Now you got to understand who you are right now in this moment. And then we can begin to see who we're becoming. We're always becoming. We're all are becoming. If you're not evolving, you're basically just staying the same, which stagnation equals to a feeling of death. So choosing authenticity, even when it disrupts system, relationships, or careers. Being willing to lose somebody, being willing to lose something, being willing to say some shit, even if you know damn well it's gonna cost you your job. It might cost you. Now I ain't telling you to go out here being stupid and being reckless. Now don't get it twisted. Now because that situation. First thing came to my mind was the situation with Steve Harvey and what's her name, Monique. And Steve Harvey said, "Man, we got to be doing the right thing. We got to be talking right out here with these people. We can't just be, you know what I'm saying." So when you dealing with trying to do the right thing and trying to keep your job and your livelihood, it's a time and place for everything. I just seen Lil Duval shut up one of them comedians on Drink Champs, and he was like, "No, no, 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 we ain't doing that." So it's a time and place for everything. But when you're talking about something that needs to be said, something that needs to be expressed, and you just feel that feeling because you've been swallowing it so much, and now that energy it's been festering inside of you, and you ain't had this conversation, you haven't used this throat chakra, right? So you're gonna feel that urge, and if you don't utilize it, you're gonna be placed in situations and positions where you have to do it. So Aquarius eclipses don't ask, they reroute. All right. So this one whispers, you're no longer meant to live small just to keep systems comfortable. All right. So we look at this on a spiritual and a metaphysical level. This is going to be about a nervous system awakening. See, Aquarius rules the electrical body, the neural pathways, and the higher cognition. This eclipse rewires subconscious beliefs around freedom and belonging, trauma stored in the nervous system. Okay. This is like especially dealing with social, ancestral, or collective trauma, right? The way intuition communicates, more downloads, flashes, sudden knowing, vivid dreams. All right, it's like a buzzing energy. All right, spontaneous insights, moments of emotional detachment that are actually clarity. You're not disassociating, you're actually upgrading here. Okay. So soul contracts, timeline shifts, soul eclipses are karmic loops. Aquarius does, it does this through sudden shifts, especially with people, groups, and jobs. It's kind of what Aquarius does because it rules your social life and shit. All right. So technology or informational revelations and inner realizations that cannot be unseen. You cannot unsee it. You can't. I don't care. Even if it was something that didn't give you any tangible or physical evidence, you know damn well that's what you know. You see the I know associated with Aquarius. When you know what you just know it. And I tell people all the time, if you think you do not know. So this eclipse clears space for the fire horse momentum. You've been seeing a lot of people saying that this energy is finally activating the fire horse year because then when you deal with Chinese astrology, tomorrow actually activates this energy. So the fire horse year actually starts tomorrow, right? So this eclipse clears space for that momentum. bold, fast, unapologetic movement. But first, you must detach from emotional entanglements that slow your charge. You know, emotions of can be very stagnant. And they can corrupt you. They can slow you down. They can make you not want to do shit. I mean, come on now. We all know what having an emotional experience can do. To our bodies and even to our creativity and even to just our will to do certain things. You know, sometimes you going through emotional shit, you just don't want to do shit, but take a nap, lay down, cut everybody out, force yourself into isolation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you dealing with the nervous system, you know, just in full transparency, you know, I've been dealing with that. Like, damn, do I want to force myself into isolation? But knowing that's not me. See, knowing that you are not the mind and you are not the body. So even somebody who has a high level of awareness is always constantly regulating his nervous system. So it's a beautiful thing to have these type of things in your bag to be aware, to be alive. All right. So this fire horse archetype is all about fiercely independent, right? Being rebellious and against stagnation. Anything that makes you stagnant, you will not stand for it. All right. Allergic to limitation. I'm talking about alert. I go to coughing and I get the hives, and you go to talking about limitations. I get real uncomfortable. You hear me? So it's like, yeah, I'm allergic to limitations. I don't know about y'all at this point. So destined to run ahead of the crowd, right? Because when you become a trendsetter, which Aquarius is linked to, trend setting, setting trends, right? See, Aquarius is a visionary, and the fire horse is the executor. So this eclipse plants the seeds that Pisces season waters, Aries season ignites, and the fire horse your demands embodiment. You know, we gotta embody this shit. You know, it can't be just no longer a bunch of talk. You know, you gotta walk it like you talk it, play it like you see it, like Juvenile see it. You understand? So you don't just dream the future, you start living it. You know, that's one of the major laws of manifestation, right? Feel it as if it's already here. You know what I'm saying? This is the quantum leap, baby. So on a mundane level, on the collective themes, you can expect a lot of shifts around technology, AI, digital currencies. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want to get in something that's gonna make you a lot of money, here it is right here. Get ahead of the game right now. Learn this. Make AI. I'm gonna say what they say. Make AI your bitch, right? So you understand me. So use these things. You understand me. Make them tools, cause you ain't gonna have no choice. I'm telling you, cause it's gonna take. Think about it. Throughout time, we can't stop what's coming. The reason why people feel like it's the government they can't stop because the government gonna follow what the cosmos is doing. Hey man, you can just go look at what they do when they make laws and everything that happens around moon shifts and how every holiday is linked to a movement of the sun. And whenever you check any holiday in this construct, check where the sun is. It'll tell you why that holiday is themed the way it is. All the way from Easter to Christmas, right? You know, so when you talking about Ash Sunday and you talking about Christmas and Christmas and the sun going across the southern crooks in the cosmos and dying right around the 25th of December as we go into the winter equinox. See what I'm saying? So it's all translatable. So when you truly understand the technology, information, intelligence, right, is gonna thrive with or without you, you can't stop it. In AI, if you take away the artificial, it's still intelligence. But the whole thing is, on the flip side, it is here to enslave your mental. Imagination and creativity is what thrives humanity forward. That's the power of Aquarius. To have an imagination, to move from surviving to thriving, to create something that's going to not just benefit you, but humanity. That's where the money is. That's where the longevity is. That's when you pop. That's what a viral energy is. You see what I'm saying? So community restructuring, who belongs, who leaves, who leaves. So you can watch a lot of people finna start migrating out of shit. I don't like them over here. I want to be over here. Right? And a lot of people still suffer from the illusion of inclusion. They just gonna be telling you, I don't know why I still fuck with them. You know them kind of people. Now I know goddamn well all of us know these kind of people now. The kind of people are always talking about other people, but they always around them same people. Why you with them all the time and come telling me about them? So gossip got to stop somewhere now. I'm just saying, is it gonna stop at you? So when you're dealing with social revolutions and driven by younger or marginalized voices, right, man, these YNs finna be, I'm telling you, I'm all right. You've been warned, looking ass. Cause I'm telling you, cause they is not gonna play no games with whatever these folks finna try to do and conform us to. They ain't finna play no games with that. There's going to be a revolution and it will be televised. Okay. It's been coming in spurts. You know how they were saying, don't worry about ICE. That ain't got nothing to do with us. That ain't our business. Right? So, hey man, when you dealing with humanity, everything is at your business because a lot of things people don't worry about until it's at their front door. But knowing when to pick a fight is very, very critical in this reality. Everything might not be your fight. And when you know how to fight, you might not have to physically do anything when you got technology at your hands. This is why a lot of people are ready to use their voice. You can go viral at the drop of a goddamn thumb. Okay. So the decentralization of power, we're already watching that, and everybody blaming Trump for it, but that's a whole nother thing. There's so much smoke and mirrors going on in the government right now. It's crazy. So Aquarius eclipses expose corruption, not through scandal, but through irrelevance. I want y'all to really understand what I'm saying with this right here. When somebody says or does something, you know how you could be talking to somebody, just start talking about something totally irrelevant? They lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you start talking about something and it ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck? What you trying to deter me from? What they call it today, moving the goalposts and shit, gaslighting, right? Like, cause people will start bringing up shit that ain't got no context of what y'all talking about or what y'all got going on. Be aware of them people. Okay, red flag like a motherfucker. You hear me? So systems don't collapse dramatically, right? They simply just stop working. This ain't gonna be no, a slow. You gonna look up one day and this shit ain't here no more. You gonna be like, what the fuck? Yeah, whatever that button you was clicking that when you was going here, that shit ain't working no more. Whatever roundabout way, whatever back door you was going through, you feel what I'm saying? Like it ain't gonna work that way. So it's gonna be upfront. Like you're gonna have to be upfront, and people gonna be forced to be that way. Really upfront about what it is that you're talking about, what it is you got going on. So on a personal life theme, on the individual level, this eclipse asks, where have I betrayed my truth to stay accepted? What version of myself is obsolete? What future is calling me that scares me, but it's because it's real? You know, it's always something on the internal level. That's why a lot of people say a lot of people are afraid of success. You know how people say that, right? Because the first thing that people kind of overlook, or I would say overshadow, when it comes to fear, and what scares you about something because you know it's real. You know it's real that whatever you do, people gonna talk about you. You know it's real that people gonna be looking at you. You know it's real that we live in a society where you can be. I'm talking about guilty in a court of public opinion. We live in a council culture. You know it's real that other people gonna feel some type of way about you being unique, you being different, you being authentic, you being weird, you being all things Aquarius. So what is scaring you, man? Fuck them people. You see what I'm saying? See, when you truly embrace that and embody that, you would take center stage. This is why the opposite of Aquarius is Leo. So being able to take center stage, regardless of who the fuck is in the crowd, right? Oh my God, such and such out there. I don't know if I can do it. Man, you better get your ass out there. Get out there. Okay? So a lot of these people, especially with the North Nodes and Aquarius, the South Nodes, or North Nodes and Leo, the South Nodes, and all that good shit in Aquarius or Leo, these axes will be activated this year, because the nodes will flip to Leo and Aquarius and be coming up in the summertime, close to the fall, I think. But of course, we're gonna be talking about that when the time comes. But I'm giving you a glimpse as to what's gonna happen in the next 6 months. 6 months from now, okay, when the moon goes into Leo, and as it comes out of full moon in Aquarius, and the sun is in Leo, we will be experiencing an activation of the Leo Aquarius axis on a different level. These next 6 months gonna give you a precursor. So pay attention to the Leos and shit. They're gonna be outside. They're gonna be loud and proud. Okay, what y'all think going on with Glorilla? Y'all know she a Leo, right? So I'm just saying, when y'all pay attention, watch these Leo, watch the signs of Leo. Even if they don't want to, they're gonna be forced to come out of the shadows in some type of way. Okay. Same thing could be true with a lot of Aquarian people. See, when you're dealing with calm in some ways, these things can manifest. There's going to be sudden clarity about relationships, a need for solitude followed by bold action. You're going to have some courage to do some shit. See, this is the axis of the introvert and the extrovert. You know, Leo is extroverted in the motherfucker. Leo, Aquarius is introvert all day. Now, an Aquarius can get extroverted, but it's gonna feel weird to them. And a Leo can feel introverted, but they ain't gonna feel too comfortable being it. And if they find a comfort zone being that way, then you got a pretty cool ass Leo, right? Our Leos ain't the same, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just giving you a view of the archetypes and how they play out. All right. So when we looking for this bold action, that's the courage linked to Leo. All right, and that solitude is definitely dealing with because Aquarius don't give a fuck about being by themselves. Okay, that's one the main thing. It good with being by themselves, right? So also redefining success on your own terms is gonna be critical for right now. Choosing freedom over familiarity. If something leaves now, it was never meant to follow you into the fire horse era. Whatever leaves your life, whoever leaves your life, whatever is trying to be removed from your life, it wasn't meant to move on with you. All right. And some of these transits that we've already experienced for the month of February, I'm gonna run through these transits because this month of February is gonna be magical. It has been magical up until now. It's because we started off with the full moon. We had the snow moon and Leo moon. I did the workshop on that. Um, you know, very powerful energy when it comes to, you know, the heart truth being exposed. And, you know, the eclipse is like that eclipse by, you know, it primed the eclipse by spotlighting where the ego or the pride or the fear of being seen has limited you. So Leo says owns your light. Aquarius later says share it with the world differently. You get what I'm saying? See, that's the axis of a, see, once you have this energy of Leo and Aquarius in your chart, which we all do, 11th and the 5th house, and even if you whatever your rising sign is, you can find out the ruler and where that moved to. But when you're dealing with this energy, this is where you know your light, where you become the light, the truth, and the motherfucking way. But then somebody has to benefit from it. Ain't that? Do that sound familiar? Do that sound like the path of Jesus Christ? You see how the heart always leads back to the Jesus energy, because as I always say, Jesus represents the heart and the collective when he's talking about serving the people. All right, humanity work. So Uranus went direct on the 3rd of February. A cosmic accelerator turns on. You know, that delayed a lot of changes that you know, unstick. And also the decisions that you avoided suddenly, you know, they make themselves available to you. On February the 5th, we witnessed Mercury square Uranus. It was a lot of truth bombs could have been exposed. If you didn't, if you have been through a lot of these disruptive conversations, pay attention to what has shocked you. You know, it's information meant to free you. So if you have witnessed or been through some information that is meant that would literally help free you over these past couple of weeks, you understand why. All right. So especially dealing with the Pisces energies beginning with the February 6th. You know, that's when we start the Mercury and Venus into Pisces, and I was talking a lot about that. And that softened the mental body. You know, the intuition overrides the logic. Empathy began to deepen. You know, the romantic and the spiritual longing increases. And as you can see, we had Valentine's Day right after that, which is normal fashion. So normally when we do have a Valentine's Day, and because Valentine's is so heavily linked to Venus with all the roses and things being sold, because if for those of you who did not know, the planet of Venus rules roses. Okay. So the synastry of a rose, the beauty of a rose can represent the beauty of a woman, a woman's beauty. All right. The aesthetics of something that is so beautiful. All right. So when you're dealing with also the romantic and the spiritual longing could increase for a lot of people around this time. This is the emotional thaw before the eclipse chords. The eclipse cuts chords. All right, so a lot of emotions could have thawed out. Then we had Saturn moving to Aries on 13th. It was very huge. So Saturn in Aries equals discipline, courage, self-leadership, responsibility for your desires. You're no longer allowed to blame your past, your parents, your wounds, or the system on what the fuck it is you ain't got or what you have or don't have, I will say. So Saturn says, lead yourself or be led by fear. That's what just to give you a simple way to what Saturn kind of enter our life. Saturn is saying you take the lead or fear gonna do it. Cause if you ain't doing it, fear is. I don't give a damn what you think your comfort zones is and how you think you're in control. If you're not leading your own life, leading yourself, fear is naturally doing it. So, here we are, where we are now, the moon conjunct Pluto, all right, because Pluto is in Aquarius, Mercury trine Jupiter, all right, and whenever you're dealing with trines, you just coming in with the aspect of how fire signs and all that good stuff kind of move together. Now, deep emotional purge and followed by expansive mental clarity. This is where you feel the eclipse coming. So you can feel, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Hold on. So tomorrow, the 17th, we got the solar eclipse, the reset, the serving, the awakening. All right. And then from the 18th to the 20th, we're moving to Saturn, Pisces season, plus Saturn and Neptune conjunction, which is going to be a very powerful conjunction within itself. It'll be the first time this has been conjunct, I think, in 200 years or so, 185 years, I think, something like that. But when you're dealing with this, is embodied spirituality, dreams with real world instructions, spiritual vision grounded into form, intuition that demands action, mysticism meets responsibility, baby. So all that mystical shit, if it ain't grounded in shit, it don't mean shit. Trust me, I know. I always say, y'all don't hear me say before, don't be so heavy to where you know earthly good. All right. So February 26th through the 28th, Mercury retrograde plus Mars square Uranus. This is gonna be that post-eclipse volatility. So don't rush, don't react. Let the dust settle before committing to irreversible moves. Please, please, please pay attention to this. I should have put this in all caps, right? Don't rush, don't react. Let the dust settle before committing to any irreversible move. This is very, very post eclipse energy. Okay. It can be very volatile. You can feel compelled. It can get compulsive, especially with Saturn and Neptune and Aries. You might feel like a fire is lit under your ass, but you can be like, I know if I do this shit, it is not going to go right. You better trust that shit. I know if I go here, it just every some part of me want to do it, but another part of me is saying, sit your ass down, chill, shut up, whatever the case may be. Respect your inner authority. Okay, don't relinquish that shit. You might make a move you can't goddamn me take back. All right. So, we're dealing with the integrational ritual. You can do this, it's optional, but it can be potent for you. Of course, those of you who do purchase the PDF, you'll definitely get this. I'm plugging for social media for a few hours. Write down what version of you is ending. Burn or tear the paper. Browse your body, bare feet, salt bath, breath work. Say, I release identities built on fear. I choose the future aligned with my soul. So my final message, this eclipse doesn't promise comfort, it promises freedom. It doesn't ask for certainty, it asks for courage, baby. So you gotta have the courage, the willingness to go out here and make this shit happen and live your life the way you want to live it. So you're stepping into sovereign identity, nervous system truth, soul aligned rebellion. And once the fire heart starts running, there is no going back, baby. Once it take off, it's like once the train start moving, ain't no taking it back. Now, here's where we're gonna get a little deep. All right. And hold on one second here. Here's where we're gonna get a little deep. And I also really want to, because I think I got somebody over here texting me. But when we talking about moving into the power of the self, when we talking about moving into the identity behind what's going on with this on a lineage level, all right, it's very powerful. Okay. Like, and I'm about to get off into how, because I want to get off into some ancestral talk. I'm gonna get off into some comedic science a little bit. I ain't gonna bore y'all too much, all right, with the comedic science, okay? All right, so when we're dealing with this comedic energy, hold on, let me get to this PDF. So we're dealing with this comedic energy. One of the main things that's being activated because, comedic science did so much for me. African spirituality and all that good, beautiful energy. Because once you start to tie it all in, everything could be linked to it. I'm not gonna make this into that, but it's very powerful when you think about it. Okay. So, looking at the aspects of the mythology behind how we all could be experiencing this energy on so many different levels. As you can see, it's a beautiful picture from AI right there. Now, Kemetic mythology is a cosmic metaphor. I specifically wanted to list that. This is a cosmic metaphor. Okay, really take it as that. Take it in a metaphorical sense, just like how in the beginning of the Bible say this is allegory. Okay, in Kemetic and ancient Egypt, mythology is not fiction. It is encoded with a map of consciousness, human psychology, life cycles, and transformation, and the soul's interaction with time, resistance, and destiny. So, key Kemetic deities and motifs that I'll draw on would be Ptah, that's the creator of Artesian. All right, the creator, the Artesian, the mind, the blueprint. All right, it's the artistry, it's the architect, it's the engineer, right? Ptah is also where they get the statue of the Oscars from. Okay, go look up a picture, a statue of Ptah, and look up a statue of the Oscars, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So Tahuti, the cosmic intelligence, language, timing, depth, psychology. Also Set, or better known as Isis from the Greek pantheon. Soul recovery, intuition, and embodiment, which is the great mother energy as well. I'll kind of touch on that a little bit. I ain't want to get too deep with these energies, so I'm kind of staying a little surface with it, but I'm gonna go a little deep with it too, okay? So segment the fire of purification, the inner nerve alchemy. Okay, I really want y'all to pay attention to the nervous system aspects and the body aspects and how these things can be played out or experienced on our own interpersonal levels. Asar or Osiris, Heru or Horus. Horus, Heru, sovereignty, awakened identity. Okay, Asar, Osiris, deathless, transformation. It's not gonna kill you. It's just gonna transform you. The Aku or the Ak, right? This is the luminous body, the ionized consciousness, the ancestral memory that thrives through your DNA, your living spirits. I'm gonna go a little deep into that because I had to, because this part is very, very critical. I really want y'all to understand this Aku. All right, this Ankh, this Ak, this like where you get the Ankh from, and the Ankh is Ahead, Kakit. So it's different Nunet, Noon. So you dealing with hot hit. So I ain't gonna get off into kind of breaking all that down, but when you're dealing with the aspects of Kemetic deities, they're very aligned with astrological energies. Aquarius equals Tahuti, is translatable to Tahuti. Let me say that Mercury is tied to Tahuti mainly, but Mercury exalts in Uranus, which Uranus rules Aquarius. Okay, so now we're dealing with the cosmic mind because the mundane mind is Gemini, but when you merge it to the cosmic mind, you're dealing with Aquarius. This is why Aquarius rules astrology and higher language. Astrology is a higher language. Just stay with me here, okay? If I'm losing anybody, please come off your mic and let me know. Slow down, say hold up, okay? Now the 5 horse year, segment and Heru impulse, okay? That's this 5 horse energy, the year that we in, 2026. The eclipse energy is a SAR, death and rebirth. That's why it's a shadow effect. That's why the sun, like, I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? And the eclipse sun be like, I'll be right back. You know how somebody texts you, be right back? Like, imagine the sun texting you during the eclipse, be right back. All right. So Pisces is this sit, empathy, the inner ocean. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are an ocean in a drop. Okay, every part of the cosmos, every part of this construct, earth, fire, wind, water, ether, all these things exist inside of you. Okay, even the salty waters of your tears are a mimicking of that of the ocean. That is Pisces. Okay, or sit, big mama, great mama energy. All right, the eclipse archetype, Asar, Aku, the resurrection. The solar eclipse are the cosmic version of the Osirian myth. All right, it's literally the cosmic version of something being reassembled, and that's why, as Asar is dismembered and reassembled, not just resurrected but restored in a new form. The masculine principles birthed by the feminine principles, the moon being the feminine principle, and the sun being the masculine. It's like the moon is saying, "Come here, let me bathe you, let me baptize you. Come here, boy, let me baptize you." Come on and bathe in the waters of this heavenly body over here. You understand? And the son, like, okay, I'm coming in to heaven, baby. Let's go. So it's like the rod, right? It's like the when we talking about the ticking or the obelisk, or when something is rising or being erected into something. The same thing happens when we have sex. Cause you man feel like it's light, but boy, as soon as but I ain't gonna get into all that. This ain't for that. But when you start talking about this principle of masculine and feminine, it plays out in so many ways in our reality. So this solar eclipse is the moment where old identity dissolves, hidden parts rise, subconscious contracts are renegotiated. The soul declares sovereignty over patterned survival from ancestral memory. Stay with me here. I'm finna get a little deep. Okay. In Kemetic ancient Egyptian cosmology is what we know it is Egypt, but it's once Kemet. The human being was understood as a multidimensional, not just flesh, but consciousness layered in spirit. One of the highest expressions of the soul was the Aku, the plural, the Aku. This is often translated as the shining ones or the transfigured spirits. See, this represents the luminous, the enlightenment, the ancestral spirit that has successfully integrated earthly experience and become radiant in the spiritual realm. Ye shall do greater works than me. Now, I ain't gonna go off into all this illumination talk in the Bible. I really want y'all. I ain't gonna start transliterating. Okay, I ain't gonna do that. But pay attention to these words. These are associated with things that predate the Bible by over 10,000 years. Stay with me. You can go over 10,000 years. I'm gonna say it one more time. Predate the Bible by over 10,000 years. So it's not merely a ghost or spirit that is activated, it's ancestral light. This is why African sciences praise or reverence the ancestors so much, because when you're dealing with the Kemetic soul components, to understand a coup, you have to understand that this helps to know the spiritual autonomy. This is Kahat, the physical body. This is Ka, the life force, the vital double. The life force that represents your vital double. You have an etheric double. Anybody we done heard about this talk for even from quantum physics. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you how real it is, because y'all know I love to simplify everything. If I can't simplify it, I don't know what I'm talking about. If I can't make it elementary, I'm just talking. Okay. When somebody loses a limb, if you know anybody that's done lost a limb, or anybody that's done had a surgery or whatever the case may be, they have moments to where it still feels like that thing is there. Okay. That's the etheric double. Just giving you a simplicity of what that looks like. How your body has memory, even if you lose that body part. If you got a organ removed or whatever the case may be, your body still act like it got the motherfucker. And how you can take on somebody else's organ and now you've taken on their etheric double. And that's a whole nother zoom. But you can actually get off into how you can start to feel the energy of somebody else because you have this organ of this person. They done got movies on this shit. This is real shit. Our ancestors knew this. Understand how dynamic it is to know the power of the body and the life force that thrives in it. The vital double. The ba, the personality, the soul, the mobility of consciousness, the part of you that is mutable, the part of you that does not identify with the physicalities of the self, the part of you that knows that I can't be stuck on this, the mobility of your consciousness, and that part can be sometimes blocked by cognitive dissonance when the personality or the persona begins to override or supersede what the soul dynamics are operating in. We see this shit happen all the time. So the ib, the IB, represents the heart. The ibis, the ib, the heart, the memory seat. Everything is memorized by the heart. They even have science to prove it now that the heart is 6,000 more powerful electrical than the brain. Okay. So the Ren is the name, the identity, the vibration, the Shuet, and they used to call it Shit, all type of shit. But you're dealing with the shadow, the subconscious, the imprint, right? And then when you're dealing with the Ak or the Aku, and it's like the illuminated spirit, the ancestral star body. Okay. So together, All this becomes, you know, this is what you become after mastering Mayat, divine order, balance, and truth. It is the ancestor who shines. I know all of us have an ancestor that we know that even when they was alive, they shine like a motherfucker, right? Because they reach a certain state of illumination within the self. And they have nothing to do with what they accumulated outside of them. But when you have somebody that you know in your life, somebody that you know as an ancestor that transition, even if they might be still here now, right? Or that person might be you. See, Aquarius dictate that this becomes the black sheep. See, committed spirituality never separated spirit from biology. And see, that's why the Aku, it responds or corresponds energetically to the nervous system, the pineal activation, the crown chakra, the sahasrara. And this is why the pineal gland, the cerebral cortex, the electrical impulses in the brain, right? See, this is the light frequency body. The nervous system is your physical light grid. So when you experience sudden ancestral memories, deja vu, dreams of elders, genetic familiarity with unknown places, spiritual awakenings, you are activating the Akul consciousness. The math of your ancestral light is every generation doubles. Here's what this means. You had two parents, right? Four grandparents, eight great grandparents, 16 second great grandparents, 32 third generation great grandparents, 64 fourth generation great grandparents. You see how this goes on and on? All the way down to 1,048,576 ancestors that this is just going back 500 years now. See, by 18 generations back, over 1 million ancestors were required for you to exist. Man, ask Shay to the ancestors. You see? See, and that's only 400 to 500 years back now. See, you are a walking ancestral library. See, this is what the fuck is coming online. And this is the part that also needs to go out. Damn, that almost teared me up. Mm-mm-mm. And Shay to the ancestors, you hear me? Because how this lives in the body is epigenetics. And when you're dealing with modern science, now confirms that Kemetic priests, see, it confirms what Kemetic priests taught. Trauma passes down biologically. Anybody that's done got to read from me, I can see your trauma in your chart that your mama gave to you, your daddy gave to you. This is not by coincidence. And I'm going to tell you a lot of this shit I didn't study. It came to me. It came to me, and a lot of time it comes to me even when I'm doing a reading, because there is no way this shit can be applicable across the board, all the way to the point to where I can look at somebody's moon sign. I ain't never studied it in a way that most people have, but I just know it when I see it. Say, when you talking about when the ancestors speak through you, right? See, when you talking about strengths can be passed down biologically, not just trauma. We get so focused on the traumas and shit. It's some great shit that some people came before you that left with you. We choose to hold on and look at the bullshit. It's just how the bad always outweigh the good. The skills, the temperament, the stress responses, all inherited. People think it's disease and shit. Cancer, and get that cancer from get high blood pressure. See, we claim a whole bunch of shit because they teach us history and not lineage. We are one of the only races that get taught history and have to celebrate our history and not our lineage. Here is why. Because even the facial features coded memory. Why you got the nose of your great great grandfather? When your nervous system patterns the ancestral conditioning, when people say you can have your grandmother's nose or act like your grandfather, see you observing the Aku memory embedded in the DNA, and the Ib heart as the memory archive in the Kemetic belief. The heart was weighed in the afterlife because it contained memory. See, people tell people all this other shit. Oh, your sins are being weighed. Man, let me tell you something. If you ain't venerated the goddamn ancestor through the matters of your heart, see, this is the real alchemy. See, See, the ancestors, you don't live for them, they live through you. I'm gonna say that one more time. You do not live for the ancestors, they live through you. See these emotional imprints. Damn. Mm-mm-mm. Whoo, man, this is a shit. Yeah, this is a message here. See, emotional imprints and lineage memory, like moral records and soul contracts. This shit can be heavy on the system. And sometimes you don't even know why you're going through some of the shit that you're going through. Right? Your mind can't even begin to fathom the amount of memory that your body's holding on to. It's not supposed to. It's here to help you navigate the present reality. But once you turn that within, meditation, yoga, breath work, you turn this memory within now. Now you've activated something different. See, today we know the heart is to be known as a neural network, trauma lodges in the fascia. See, everybody been talking about this shit, right? See, emotional patterns transmit, generationally. See, your body is a genealogical archive. See, the Aku and the ancestors, the Aku are not dead. They are elevated consciousness streams, fields of intelligence, genetic frequency, quantum memory signatures. When you feel guided without knowing why, drawn to a certain culture, a certain food, or whatever the case may be, strong around elder energy, emotional during ancestral rituals, you are resonating with this frequency. In the Kemetic cosmology, the stars were often associated with the Aku, the imperishable ones. Hey man, hey, we don't die, right? The flesh dies, the spirit lives forever. And that's why in Kemetic science they say that the ancestors, nobody ever truly dies until the last person speaks their name. See, the ancestors become stars in Kemetic and African spirituality. You become the next one. See, man, don't miss this, y'all. See, the nervous system as ancestral receiver, the vagus nerve, the spinal cord, the brain, stem, they act like receivers, electrical translators, memory activators. See, when healing occurs, you don't just heal yourself, you interrupt ancestral loops. You rewire 1 million plus timelines. This is when I tell people when you heal at least 7 generations forward or 7 generations backwards, goddamn it. This is why generational healing can feel so heavy. You're not carrying just you. And this is not to blame nothing on no ancestors. This ain't what this about. Now we venerating her. We ain't. This ain't for you to feel like, oh my God. This ain't to make your journey that much more heavier. Please do not take this message for that. This to let you know there's a reason why you go through the shit you go through. There's a reason why you are still here. So you know, they're not just carrying you. Right? You are not just carrying. You are not just carrying you. Let me say that right. So the mundane experience, the Aku can show up as family resemblance, shared talents, cultural instincts, inherited fears, unfinished ancestral dreams, natural leadership in bloodlines, repeating relationship patterns. Some inherit wealth, some inherit silence, some inherit survival, some inherit resilience. All inherit memory. I wouldn't give a damn how you separate it. All of us inherit memory. So this spiritual awakening happening through the signs of the Aku is going to be desire to know lineage. A genealogy research could be festering in you, sudden cultural pride, dreams of unknown ancestors. You don't even know some of these faces, but they feel familiar to you. Sensitivity to injustices around you, deep pull towards truth. That's my art. So you become the one who breaks cycles, restores order, elevates the bloodline. This is the Aku initiation. And the alchemical understanding, if we're dealing with Ka, Kat, Kayat, Kahat is matter, and Ka is energy, the body and the spirit, right? The Ba is the personality, and the I, the Kaku, the Ak, is the transmuted light. So the spiritual growth in alchemy of turning defense memory dense memory into luminous wisdom, trauma into awareness, and awareness into integration is the Ak. You become the shining ancestor. So the bigger perspective is by 20 generations back, the theoretical ancestor count exceeded 1 million. It exceeds 1 million. But here's the deeper truth. Those ancestors are also overlap. Family lines converge. You're not separate branches. You are woven nets of consciousness. You carry farmers, healers, warriors, artists, survivors, revolutionaries. You are statistically impossible and spiritually inevitable. And my final reflection on this is, the Aku teaches that you are not beginning your life. You are continuing a sacred flame. Your healing, your healing, your healing uplifts your ancestors. Your success rewrites their stories. Your consciousness upgrades their lineage. And one day you will become someone's Aku. It is not a reset to old settings. It is a reconfiguration of identity at the nervous system level. All right. So, when we're looking at Aquarius, that's the Hootie, the mind, the language, and the electrical blood. If y'all was digging that, man, just put an ashe in the chat for the ancestors, or you can put your one of the ancestors' name in the chat. It don't matter, but let's just celebrate the ancestors on that one, all right? Somebody that you just want to call their name or reverence their name as we are here in present in this moment now. So Aquarius, that's Tahuti, and I'm just gonna say Ashe to the ancestors. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Now, Aquarius, that's Tahuti, mind, language, and electrical blood. Aquarius is ruled by Tahuti, master of cosmic language, time measurement, pattern and recognition, mind body integration. In human terms, Tahuti is the part of you that perceives hidden order, communicates truth, reads subtle systems, sees beyond old identity into design plus intent. An eclipse in Aquarius unleashes sudden insights that override old coping mechanisms, reconnection to inner authority via versus approval wiring, electrical courage, the nervous system rewire. Comedically, this is Tahuti waking the Ak. And this is activating the luminous body aspect of consciousness. The Ak translates subtle frequencies into existential shift, existential shifts. Now, the fire horse here with the Sigmet and the Heru dynamics. Sigmet is the lioness, the fire goddess of purification and striking truth. Heru is the solar earth, sovereignty, clarity, self mastery. Sigmet was the ones they would call on to guard your sexual organs as you were being mummified, right? Now we call it embalming. They got all that from the Kemetic peoples, right? Embalming bodies and taking organs out and putting them in certain fluids and all that. These people did that first. All right, and Segment guarded those fire parts of your organs, right? Heru represented your third eye and how you would rise after death, okay? So it's also clarity, self-mastery. The fire horse archetype acts like Sigma's flame, burning illusions. Heru's vision, cutting through confusion. That's why Heru lost two eyes in the battle of his uncle Set, which represents the lower self per se, or even as we know today as the devil. The nervous system going from protective survival into purposeful activation. See, this is a breakout timeline, not gentle reform, but nervous system transformation through catalytic pressure. The chakra map of this eclipse and Aquarian activation. So let's translate this into the body systems and chakras and how this energy registers physically, emotionally, and neurologically. All right. So the crown, the agena, the sixth chakra, the Aquarius, the Hooting energy, the things around the cosmic intuition, pattern recognition, non-ego insight. You know how you just start to notice shit and you don't know how you picked up on this shit. That's just part of your mind right here. Okay, the downloads, the aha moments, the sudden clarity that bypass logic, that part. Expanded time perception, nervous system impact is going to be like increased parasympathetic responsiveness, quantum intuition, vision beyond survival identity, baby. Clock it, clock it, clock it. What they say, clock it. I'm telling you, this new moon, this solar eclipse, clock it, right? So the heart chakra, The fourth chakra, the integration point, the eclipse dissolves old fear-based identity patterns stored here. Now, some of the things will be self-acceptance, authentic connection versus people-pleasing. Activation effects is going to be sudden emotional maturity, release of relational codependency, capacity for unconditional self-regard. Now, the third chakra essence is going to be the fifth chakra. This is going to be truth expression. So Aquarius here too, no longer truth no longer hides behind diplomacy, speaking what is real, what is unfinished. And the physical, the adrenal, the vagus, the throat linkage means that speech becomes somatic release. Saying how you feel is gonna release some shit from your goddamn body. Voice work feels healing. That's why in the nervous system reset, we're doing chanting and all that good shit. It's gonna amplify after this moon and this eclipse. So the nerve firing greets truth with relief, not panic. Imagine you say the truth and like, "Whoa, I feel so better." I know y'all. I don't know how many of us done, because the truth don't set you free; it makes you free. Sometimes you tell the truth, you ain't got to deal with the shit no more. Shit, you know. So solar plexus, especially if you tell it early enough now. You wait too long, you're gonna have a lot of shit to tell about the truth. And sometimes you just get tired. And it's a thin line between being the victim and the aggressor when you trying to represent the truth. Cause yeah, you'll end up hurting somebody to represent your truth. And yeah. So be mindful of this energy. Now, when you're dealing with the solar plexus, you're also dealing with the willpower. The third chakra, willpower plus personal power, aligned with the fire horse potency. This center amplifies self-agency, boundary clarity, empowered choice over old fear-based momentum. The sacral chakra, the second, plus the root, the first, embodied grounding. You're not just thinking change, you're rooting it in biology. Root is your nervous system stability reclaimed. The sacral is creative renewal, desire without fear, baby. So you got this creative energy and it could be renewed without no fear to actually do the shit. Create it. What you worried about, right? So it could actually be more removed for you after this new moon. So just pay attention to your body. This new moon is solar eclipse, right? The nervous system alchemy. The nervous system is the ground for all these shifts. In comedic physiology, the nerve serpent, the wajet, right? This kind of looks like almost like you would see them holding this in their hand like it's anybody seen the oscillator made by Nikola Tesla? The wajet looks like that. All right, it's like a thing like coils between it and things like that. It represents the spine, symbolizes a rise and activation from the base, survival to the crown, wisdom, turning lead to gold. All right. So this eclipse, because the root chakra is lead and the crown chakra is gold. Okay. Now, this eclipse ignites a Wajet. And if you think about fire, fire purifies gold. Fire horse year, Saturn and Aries, Neptune and Aries, fire energy. Okay. So just you can't make it up. All right. This is not a coincidence at all. So it ignites a Wajet rising mechanism. Suppress impulses surface, chronic tension becomes released. Old protective circuits either drop away or get rewritten. Intuition shifts from subtle whisper to embody certainty, right? Your body's no longer whispering to you. It wants to move in a sense of certainty, and that's moving with confidence and clarity. You don't just think your evolution, right? You don't just think your evolution. The body knows it before the mind does. That might put a space right there. The body knows it before the mind does. So Pisces season is the Isis tide. I just use Isis because I know if people are familiar with it. If I was said the all shit tide, it wouldn't have sounded good. But the Isis tide, okay? Now, when you're dealing with the ISIS tide, let me go back up here. The ISIS tide is very reflective of this immediately after the eclipse, Pisces season, right? We enter into Pisces season. Empathy deepens, intuitive seeing becomes felt knowing. Dreams become functional guidance. Emotional threshold dissolves into oceanic awareness. Pisces awakens the inner world. Emotional intelligence, the capacity to feel life instead of defending against it. I'm gonna say that one more goddamn time. The capacity to feel life instead of defend against it. Drop your guards. Soft girl era. I told y'all we're in the soft girl era. Hey, drop your guard. Hey, soft baby. Self care, self love is the new boundaries. Looking at. So this is Isis, the great mother of Big Mama energy, rising, the healer, the mourner, the empathetic, the witness, and the one who knows because she feels. She, he. I just said she because when I say she, I'm referring to the body, not a feminine principle in a physicality manner. But yo, everybody, you, I refer to a body as a she. Our bodies are a she principle. If you're a man or a woman, because you got your body from your mama. Okay, I don't mean you ain't a man. Okay, shit. Now I ain't. You know what? Some of these niggas want breastfed. I know this video gonna be heard later on, so y'all gonna be sensitive to whatever the case may be. It don't make no goddamn difference. You all got your body from your mama, and if you don't learn how to feel shit, you ain't gonna never know what it's like to love shit. Period. Now, these transits through February, through this lens, the full moon in Leo, Sigmic roars ego truth equals heart courage, moving into heart courage. Uranus direct is going to be Heru vision, finally finalizes old repressions unwind. Mercury squares Uranus to Hootie shakes language loose. Mercury plus Venus into Pisces, Isis water dissolves, and hard edges of the ego shell. See, when you're dealing with the hard edge of the ego shell, this is when the masculine is being rebirthed by the feminine. Okay. The moon conjunct Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune, a saw underworld descent, integration, and revelation. All right. You go into a sense of meditation or a sense of detachment, right? You come out with a new realization. Have you integrated an old thought or a new thought, right? So the Saturn conjunction with Neptune embodies spiritual maturity and structured burst vision. All right. So having some structure in your life can begin to really, because it's hard to create when you're drowning. You feel me? It's hard to create when the bills got to be paid and you don't know what you're gonna eat today. And man, trust me, man, the universe done threw all the goddamn challenges at me, and it's like I've had to really learn to still create and show up no matter what the fuck is going on. And that you talking about a nervous system reset, boy. So having to really still stay focused and diligent and devoted and regardless of whatever and trusting and surrendering. That shit sound good in rehearsal. When you gotta live that shit, yeah, it's totally different. So remember, if you are living in and you are experiencing it, trusting your works and all that good shit, stay the course, you know what I mean? But also at the same time, be realistic about your structure because a lot of times without it, it's gonna be hard to birth the vision. All right. So deep inner review, the mythic descent before rebirth. The cosmic story arc in human terms is you see what was hidden, Aquarius and Thoth, right? To Tahuti energy. You feel what you never allowed yourself to feel, Pisces, Isis. You burn what can no longer serve your purpose, the fire horse and the segment energy. You inherit your sovereign self, the Horus rising. Right? You integrate the whole through embodied nervous system change. This is the Asarian loop, death of identity into resurrection, into a cool consciousness. All right. So on the personal journey level, identity collapse before clarity, emotional dissolving before liberation. It's normally how it happens. Sudden reckoning with your inner truth, the spine, deep knowing that didn't exist before you knew this shit, or was going through this shit, or went through this shit. The neurological recalibration, the sleep patterns, the intuition spikes. So your body doesn't guess, it remaps. Okay? Your body isn't guessing, it's remapping. This eclipse is not just an event, it's a threshold, right? It activates nervous system liberation protocols, soul contracts of sovereignty, a future self that overrides old survival wiring. It will feel like something inside me woke up and couldn't go back to fuck to sleep. Yeah, I know y'all know how that feels. I started to put a laugh and one of them laughing emojis right there. Cause when that hit me, I'm like, yeah, just how you can wake, how you just something wake your ass up. You're like, ooh, sometimes that could piss you off. Somebody done called you or you thought something was wrong or you heard something or hell, sometimes it was just your body that woke your ass up and your ass couldn't go back to sleep. That's what this shit gonna feel like. Okay. Some of us I might already be feeling it hell. Now when you dealing with That is the imminent return of the Aku, the venerated ancestors, your luminous sovereign self. Okay, so here is where I get off into the rising signs. That was more so the presentation of the workshop. Definitely is what I want to kind of touch on because we can't understand sovereignty without understanding the memory that we're attached to, right? A lot of people talk this sovereign talk, but in actuality, they're not really understanding what you're rooted in and what got you here, right? So if you don't know the box you in, if you ain't read the label, you get what I'm saying? Like people can have you putting together all the wrong ingredients. So once again, if you are interested in joining my nervous system reset workshop, my nervous system reset program, it is a 7-week program, and we're doing risings, meditation, breath work. You're getting a tailor-made system to reset your nervous system based off your birth chart, breath work, yoga poses, herbs, all that good stuff to help you really get more acclimated and be more at home in your body. It is not a blueprint for everybody. Everybody has their own individual things to do, but we also meet together on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. In the rising at sunrise. All right. So if you are interested in that, make sure you inbox me or hit me up. If you do want to get your full transits reading for this new moon solar eclipse energy, that is $99. Make sure you book that. If you want to get this PDF, make sure you inbox me or just send me the $33 and I will get this PDF to you. If you just want to send me a donation, my Cash App is Sensei9. My Zelle and my Venmo and all that good stuff is available as well. So I appreciate you all for your time, your energy. And once again, remember this PDF is going to have your rising signs in it. It's going to go all the way through to, hold on, wait a minute, I went out again. So it's going to go all the way through to your moon signs, sun signs. All right. So you see risings right there. Golly. So you see the rising sign, then it goes into your moon signs, sun signs. Okay, that's sun sign. Then we'll go into moon signs. And then it'll also be talking about your midhaven as well. And then it will go into numerology. That's your midhaven, your MCs. All right. And then it will go into numerology, life path numbers, and all that good stuff. Okay. And then from there, it will go into a ritual. All right. And this ritual, and remember, it's more of a collective ritual, but it's also kind of course, tailor made to the energies that are going on right now. So I also remember, y'all know I put journal prompts leading into the next moon cycle, which the next full moon will be in Virgo. All right. So once again, if you are interested in getting the PDF or in booking your session, make sure you do that. All right. Now that was dope. Very. I had an emotional moment there, man. The thinking about the ancestors and all the things that we've been through. On a collective level and all the things our ancestors have been through. It took a lot for us to get here. Let's not take this life for granted. All right. So peace and love to you all.
I have a
And
question for you, Sensei. Before you
talk to
hit
me.
that button, put your finger down. Hold on.
Talk to me.
Um, I do hair. I do multiple things, but I do hair, and I try to give my people a disclaimer, especially with me being, open and woke with what's real now. So my son had dreads, right? And you met my son during he had a turmoil during a time in his life, and he was wearing dreads. So he cut his dreads off, and somebody wanted to buy the dreads and wanted me to attach them. And
Hmm.
I even got a cousin that did a heart transplant. So I'll be trying to explain to her about energy and still collecting someone's energy. Now, when I do this disclaimer and I told this young man about attaching my son dreads to his hair to make his dreads longer, won't he harvest my son's energy at the time, whatever he was going through? Or how that work?
So you said he killed her.
Yeah, I have the hair. I have the locks.
So you have the locks, and so you asking, is it harnessing one of your ancestors' energy?
No, so a friend of his want me to put my son locks on his hair.
Oh yeah, no. But see, you gotta understand, this what happened with weave and shit though, too.
I was gonna ask that. Same
See,
thing.
it literally there was a video that went viral. I think it was a black lady. and they was talking about how they was wearing weave and how when they stopped wearing weave, they stopped feeling certain energies going on because you're dealing with the crown.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now that is very real. I won't say that somebody's knowingly trying to harness it, but once you're aware of their energy transfer, this is why you can take the hair through a purification process. Okay, you can treat it, you can smudge it, you can wash it with herbs, you can use essential oils. All right, and this is why a lot of times in ancestral energy, when they would cut your hair, they would actually burn it as well. Okay.
Mm. And see, the thing of it is, I have the hair. I washed it with, I cleansed it, but something is telling me to burn it. You know,
Now, then you
not
just see why I told you to do that. So if you feel the need to burn it, that's an old part of him you're burning away. And as his mother, you could be doing a form of protection and not even know that you're doing it. Burn it.
okay. And when I did cut my dreads off, I was off balance. I couldn't think. My hair still won't grow right. I think I shocked my nervous system. Everything
Well,
went haywire.
that means you can treat it back with herbs. You can start to do things. You got to treat your crown. Start to
Okay.
massage your scalp.
Okay.
Start to wrap your head. Start to give your crown some care. You'll be surprised. So, in ancient times, I heard seen as antennas. It's the same energy what you see in the avatar, right? How I heard was seen as antennas as coils because the way I heard coils and it moves like an ether, right? So the hair can be seen as antennas. That's why in ancient times or a lot of time they would not cut the hair; they would use the lock system. All right.
Okay. What about that heart transplant?
Oh yeah, definitely you're gonna be feeling that. Whoever got the heart transplant, you definitely gonna be feeling that for sure, for sure.
Okay. I
Because you got
tell.
somebody else's heart, right? That person, when you take on somebody else's heart, that is when you talking about ancient Kemetic sciences, they would leave the heart in the body out of all the organs that they would take out. The heart would not be one of them.
Mm, okay.
Hmm.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, beloved. So all right, y'all. Y'all good? Everybody
I was
good?
just saying,
Mm-hmm.
since we're talking about hair, can you speak towards why in the initiation process the importance of us removing our hair in Ifa or in the Oni Sheshe? What is the importance of us removing our hair?
Oh yeah, because you are literally removing those parts of you, so you're going through a rebirth process, right? So they literally are teaching you or removing. Oh, that's why even in the army they do that. The Marines, you feel me? Like you're getting rid of an old identity. You can't take that with you in this journey going forward. So the hair that you cut off is very symbolic because now the hair that you grow back becomes a part of your new identity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because I'm like, mine's gonna be, my lot's gonna be gone, but I'm ready.
Already. But yeah, trust your spirit on that. I know a lot of people went through E5, stopped in the middle of it because shit didn't feel right no more. So if shit stop feeling right, trust your spirit on that, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Y'all good? All right, well, y'all enjoy y'all evening and enjoy this new moon and solar eclipse. Peace and love, beautiful souls. And this recording will be available on my YouTube. Namaste.